we're not even going to talk about GTA 6 right now, because apparently Red Dead Redemption 3 is in the works. And I can't find any fucking source, article, or indication as to why people are talking about this. But my algorithm is getting splattered with people just talking about Red Dead Redemption 3. Apparently, there's this rumor going around that it's like in development. They're working on Red Dead Redemption 3. There's no information on what timeline it is, if it's even being in development, if it's going to be released. But for sure, of course, it's going to happen, right? There's no way it's not going to happen. But if there is going to be a Red Dead Redemption 3, there's so many different. It seems like everyone has a different outlook. Everyone has a different concept as to how they think the game should be played out. Every single person who has an opinion on Red Dead Redemption 3 has a different outlook on where it should be. Some say it should be in the future, some say it should be in the past, some say
Jackpot.
It should be set in the same era as Red Dead Redemption 2, like around the 1889 area. But you play as the Pinkertons or whatever. You don't play as the Outlaws, you play as the other side. And it's like, yeah, maybe. But playing as the Cowboys is what's fun. Other people are saying, well, what if you're the Cowboys and what is it? It's the gunslingers and it's the Outlaws and the what? The police, the sheriffs? There's a better term, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe play as both sides. But what I'm thinking, and what I think is the best idea, is have another prequel. I would love to see how the game was established. Right? Like start Red Dead Redemption 3 at the beginning of the Vanderlyn gang coming about. Maybe you're playing as like Hosea or Dutch. That'd be cool. Imagine playing as Dutch, all right, and you see how his life develops. You see why he had to establish this gang, and then you see how each and every gang member came into the gang. And then the game ends right at the Blackwater massacre. You go rob the ferry in Blackwater. Shit goes down. Credits. And then then that takes off. Or I guess you do the Blackwater ferry mission, and then you head off to escape and go into the mountains. And that's exactly where Red Dead Redemption 2 starts off. Is you're escaping the heist from the ferry. So that's perfect. It just lines right up. And now you have the full spectrum from the very beginning to the very end, right when John Marston dies. Wouldn't that be a nice summary of everything? But when I bring this up, and when the odd other person brings up this idea, it gets shit on. They don't like that idea because they're like, oh, another prequel? It's like, yeah. Wouldn't you want like a full summary of exactly the full timeline? I think that's a perfect way to end the series. Because you're not going to go in the future. You're not going to go post Jack Marston. Because by that time, the Outlaw era is completely dead and gone. Completely. So make Red Dead Redemption 3 another prequel. Fucking, it's perfect. It's perfect. And then if you even wanted to, you could play the games in reverse as well. You could start with Red Dead 3 and then Red Dead 2 and then Red Dead 1. The graphics would get progressively worse, but whatever. Like that is my ideal. That is my ideal scenario for Red Dead 3. I think that like if that's actually what I want. I don't want it to be set in 1889. Or even if it is still a prequel, but you get to choose which side you want to be on, and like the Vanderlyn gang isn't even a main part of the story. I don't want to do that. The Vanderlyn gang is such a crucial center point of the Red Dead Redemption series. There is no reason to step away from that until we complete the full storyline. Because with Red Dead Redemption 2, we know we're seeing like the prime to like the downfall of the gang. And then in Red Dead Redemption 1, we see the aftermath and how John Marston survives after the gang got dismantled. But we have no idea how it was established and how everyone came into the gang. And we didn't actually get to see like actually the prime time of the gang. Because if that's what it was in Red Dead 3, that would be so fun. Because everyone would be healthy. Everyone would be young. Everyone would be fucking hungry to fucking, get shit done. The robberies would be great. And no one's going to die. There's going to be a tight community aspect of the gang. You're going to feel that family connection with the gang. Well, I guess like at the end of the timeline, like the brothers Davy and whatever his name is, and Jenny, those would die. But those characters are going to die. But now we'll actually get to have a connection to those characters. We'll get to see who those characters are and how they came about. And what are they like? And see the relationship between Lenny and Jenny. And see that build. So that when she dies, and when you hear him talk about her in Red Dead Redemption 2, you're like, oh, the connection, it makes more sense now. And we'll get to see like John Marston come into the gang, and the times that he left the gang, because he left the gang like once or twice, I think. For sure, at least once. There's so many story points that we know that have happened prior to Red Dead 2, because we hear about the gang talk about it all the time. But unless we get to see it in Red Dead Redemption 3, we're just going to have to imagine it. Like, imagine seeing Mary Beth being like her professional hustler, doing her hustling shit, when they talk about that. Like they said, you do this one little side mission where you basically use her, put her on the road to like lure in a stagecoach. She pretends to be a lost young lady, and then you rob the stagecoach. You sneak out from behind a rock and rob the stagecoach. But during the ride over to that stagecoach, you learn about Mary Beth. They say, Arthur says back in the day, Mary Beth could steal fucking anything from anyone. She was good at that shit. So we need to see how that happened. But for some reason, when you bring up this idea of another prequel for the Red Dead Redemption series, everyone shits on it. They don't like it. They think the idea of another prequel is not necessary or is not even a good idea. And I disagree so wholeheartedly.
Watch this full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast by clicking the link in bio.